the workforce is returning to the office, and post-pandemic, the back to the office subject has been most definitely a wonky one. Some businesses dropped the office concept completely. Some downsized and maybe changed the office purpose and repurposed it. And others took kind of a draconian approach and requested and sequestered the people coming back to the office, often with cataclysmic results. First, I just want to know, how does Poly view this return to the workplace? And secondly, how does Poly help organizations create a safe and engaging environment for employees as they return to the workplace?
This is a huge topic for our company, and it is the single biggest question that we get when we talk to any given enterprise right now. You sort of articulated it well. When the pandemic hit, we all went home. And then as we're coming back, people thought, well, remote's good. There was a swing in the market to everyone has to come back to work immediately, and then an immediate pushback and blowback from the employees. And where it's sort of settling is still somewhere in the middle. So we're still seeing about half in, half out. And we keep trying to do a lot of research on this and try to maintain our own statistics. But that's kind of what we're seeing, about half in, half out. And what that's really driving from our company is a need for solutions to have workspaces, if you will, both in the home and in the office. And you kind of want them both as a competent, capable workspace because, a lot of the knowledge workers out there are spending time in both.
Clint's right on. When you look at where we do our work has changed forever from the recent happenings we've had. But the question becomes, well, how do I transport my productivity tools with me wherever I go? I don't want to say, well, I'm really productive when I'm at work, or I'm really productive when I'm at home, or when I'm on the road, I kind of suffer. But how do I transport that productivity across my technology needs wherever I am? And I think that's where we're trying to get is, how do I make you as effective anywhere you choose to work? Because no one's going to work 100% from one space or another. We all have determined that we like a hybrid of sorts, and how do we do that together is their challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine that for both of you, that the conversation that you have with the client is completely different than it was 4 years ago. I would imagine it's more complex. It has more objections and challenges to overcome. A quick example, one of my close friends, he runs a very large law firm, and the particular office that he's in has about 30 attorneys, and it's probably about a 30,000 square foot office. And when the pandemic hit, everybody went home, and all the attorneys maxed out their offices at home, completely made them fully efficient, optimized. And when it was time to come back to work, the message came out, let's go, everybody back to the office. And literally 3 people came back to the office. Now, the rest of the people did not leave the firm. They're still in the firm. But even their customers, their clients, don't want to come into the office and meet with them. They all want to do things remotely.
Yes. So true. And when you look at, how do we help them, with these challenges? Because every meeting, every discussion we have today, look at the 3 of us. I'm in my home. That's some country that's different from yours, different from Clint's. I could be in an office, and wouldn't it be awful that everywhere I go, I had to relearn a new tool? So it's got to be ubiquitous wherever I am, because those we are collaborating with, there's nothing worse than those old video conferences we used to have, and it spent the first 10 minutes of every conference trying to figure out how to get people on, and can you press that button? Are you on the right thing? So it needs to be far more user friendly than it used to be, and we need to make sure that we figure into all those strategies, the remote person, the person in the office, the person who's traveling, and making sure that meeting equity that they're all looking for to contribute at is the same.
There was a time when people would lure people to the office with amenities. They would, we'll feed you lunch, we'll have ping pong hour, or whatever the case would be. But what we're seeing now with people having having had a taste of in many cases having a much superior experience at home with their closed walls and their door they might be able to shut, or their headset, or just a more comfortable environment, that in some ways now it's become an experience, war or battle, if you will. It's like, I as a worker want to work where I am most productive, where I get the most out of it, where I can add the most value and receive the most value. And technology has a role to play in that. There's other things that have a role to play in that with management and others, but certainly technology is one of those. And if my experience is as good or superior in the office, there's a pull. There's reasons to go there. If it's not, then it's always going to be friction in trying to get people back to work. And we believe really that the discussion isn't, will someone work from home sometimes and sometimes from the office? I think that's a given. It's really now it's just an argument of whether I'm in the office 4 days a week or 3 days a week, because almost no one's going full 5 days, all hours, right? So it's there's always going to be that tension. So now it's really incumbent upon all businesses to figure out, how do I make the experience at work one in which both my employees can add value, and also the employees get value out of doing their work in that location.
Yeah, a different conversation. Like, do we work from home or do we live at work?